Welcome to the Paul Cruz Sales Agency. This is the opening monologue to the weekly sales training video. In this video that you're going to watch, I promise you it's going to be worth your time. I'm going to share with you the mindset, the attitude, the personality, and the characteristics of a closer throughout the selling process. There are three powerful steps that a closer understands and masters within the selling process so that they can not only be valuable, but that they can be consistent in closing deals, producing more sales, converting leads into sales, and converting prospects into customers. This is a very powerful and effective video that if you pay attention and you apply what you will learn, I promise you this, you will become a better salesperson and a more consistent closer. So stay tuned, watch the video, take some notes, and then apply what you're going to learn. Now for the introduction. Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I'm excited, having a great week. Hope all of you are having a fantastic week. And, it's been an unbelievable week. So I'm going to share something with you, salespeople, entrepreneur, and small business owner. And I have my cards right here. So I'm going to be putting it there and reading it. And what I want to talk about today is a topic that, or word that a lot of people use in business, but don't really, in my opinion, have an understanding of it. So hopefully I have this cleared up for you. But it's, what is a closer, right? There's a difference between being a salesperson and a closer. And I'm going to share with you today what a closer is and what do they do. I'm going to put it in simple terms. I'm going to read to you the definition, the Webster's Dictionary, what a closer is. And the closer is one that closes, the act of closing, and bringing something to an end. That's the definition, okay? But I'm going to go deeper into what a closer is, because there's a saying in sales, always be closing. A closer closes. They don't need to say always be closing. That's just a way to try to motivate people, get people excited. And to me, that's a sheep mentality. So that's just my personal view. I don't like saying it, but it's something that people say. So I created a strategy or process to define what a closer really does. And this is what I do all the time. And if you understand closers, you'll be able to notice these three things I'm going to share with you. Now, the acronym that I use is called TAR. TAR. T-A-R. The first thing a closer understands is transition. Because selling is always about transition. Always. You transition from the opening of a call all the way throughout the selling process to the closing of the call. Right? But a transition, the closer understands the transition with the prospect throughout the whole selling process. Now, notice I said selling and not sales process, because you see, sales, as you know or don't know, is the result of the actual selling. That's why I call it selling process, because you have to sell before you can produce a sale, right? Cause and effect. So transitions is very important, because a real good closer understands he's always transitioning. Okay? You know, when a buyer or a prospect asks a question, he's transitioning to an answer. When a prospect gives you an objection, he's transitioning to a rebuttal. It's like playing tennis. But there's always transition. From the initial call, like for me, I cold call, right? I have 3 seconds to earn trust, respect, and show value right away, 3 to 5 seconds. So I have to transition really quick. And then once I do that, right, and I understand the transition, then I'll be able to go to the next step, right? So transition is very important because transition is something that we do every day in our lives. The difference is a closer is a master at transition. A closer knows how to transition from the opening of the call to the body of the call to the closing of the call. Because those are the 3 steps when you're closing a deal or converting a lead into a sale or converting a prospect into a customer. It doesn't change. It's the same process. So you have to understand transition when you are a closer. And that's what a closer understands. They know that they're always in a transitional situation all the time, no matter what. Does that make sense? Now, the second letter, A, in the TAR, is for adjustments. You know, you always have to adjust to your audience, right? If you pay attention to your prospect and you pay attention to your audience, and if you want to be successful and provide good quality service or product, you have to listen to your audience. You have to adjust to their personality. A closer knows that. A closer understands that they have to adjust to the tonality of the prospect. They have to adjust to the attitude of the prospect or even existing clients. They have to adjust to how the prospect may be asking a buying question or giving an objection or having a bad attitude. A closer knows they have to adjust to the environment. Why? Because the closer, through the selling process or throughout the selling process, they make adjustments based on their audience, based on their prospect, throughout the whole selling process. A closer understands that, and they're always prepared for adjustments. Because for me personally, I'm closing from the minute I say hello. But I know there's going to be transitions throughout the whole selling process. I know there's going to be adjustments throughout the whole selling process. If they have a bad attitude, I have to adjust to that. Do I respond in light way? Or do I have a strategy to deal with that? If I believe they're lying to me, how do I deal with that? Right? So I have to adjust to everything from objections to buying questions to them asking me questions, me asking them questions. As a closer, it's like you playing chess and the prospect is playing checkers. But you got to get them to play chess with you. So you always have to adjust throughout the whole selling process. And a closer understands that. Because again, when you transition from the opening of the call to the body of the call, what I call storytelling, you have to adjust. Because when you adjust, that's when you start to increase your value. That's when, you start to show that you can solve problems, that you can produce results. And the number one adjustments that closers do or make is they don't make it about them, they make it about the prospect. Even though the closer understands that they have to sell them to the prospect, because the prospect has to buy into you first before they can buy your product or services, right? That's just the way it is. You could like a product and you know you need it, but the person selling it to you, you may not like them, so you won't buy, right? Just the way it is. So the second thing is adjustments. Now, here's where the rubber meets the road. The letter R stands for resistance. I'll give you an analogy. There's a terminology in the stock market called support level of a stock and resistance level. Okay? When the stock is trading the same price for a few months or a few years and it hasn't broken resistance level, there has to be something that can create that opportunity for it to break through the resistance. Now, the resistance in the selling process, the closer understands resistance from the prospect throughout the whole selling process. And what that means is when it's time to close the deal and ask for the order, and you start to get resistance and objections, and you know that they need this product and services, you have to be willing, and a closer is willing to push. Now, I know you may not like that word. I push all the time. Because if a closer believes that the prospect and the audience needs to own this service and this product because it's in their best interest, a closer will push strategically, effectively, smart-wise, and they push through resistance. You have to know how to do that. It's a skill that you have to develop. So the difference between a salesperson and a closer is salespeople could tell good stories, but they don't know how to push. And a closer understands it's a grind, and they love the grind because that's where they earn their pay. That's when they build a relationship. That's when they know they earn that sale. Because through the whole selling process, they understood transition. They adjusted to the environment that was created or that's in front of them. And once they understand the environment, right, then they're able to push within that environment, push throughout the whole selling process. Because every transition, every adjustment, you actually are pushing. There's people out there that says, why do you push so hard? Because I believe in what I do, and it's in the best interest of my client. Look at it this way. Would you make sure you punish your kids if they're doing something wrong? Or you will correct your kid, or you will tell them what they need to do because it's the best thing for them? Or are you not going to do it? And if you don't, as a parent, shame on you. But chances are you will, right? It's no different as a closer. Especially if you know that what you have to offer will provide solutions to the prospect's problem. For me, it's simple. It's sales. I have a training program. I have a strategy. I have a sales company. And what I do is I produce sales for my clients. That's what I do. But I have to push them to understand that they need my services because it's in their best interest. Does that make sense? So as a closer, you got to be able to push and not be afraid of it. And if you have conviction and you have enthusiasm and you have persuasion and you believe in what you do, then it's your job to convey that to the prospect. It is your job to push through the nonsense. It is your job to push them strategically, effectively, because it's going to benefit them. WIIFM. What's in it for me? Basically, what's in it for the prospect? Right? Does that make sense? So this is a simple term, what a closer really does and what a closer really is. It's like if you watch baseball, right? And the manager calls in the closer to finish the job, to solidify the game, to finish the game, right? That's what a closer does. They produce results. They make everything from the beginning to an ending. That's what a closer does. But it takes a mentality. It takes an attitude, as I mentioned before. Selling is a mindset. And that mindset will create the attitude, because closing is an attitude, which means you got to know transition. You got to be good in transition. You got to be strong in adjusting to the environment that's in front of you. That's the beauty of it. I love that situation or those situations. And then you got to be able to understand resistance. It's like a rebuttal to an objection. They resist, you push. But you have to push respectfully, strategically, effectively. That's what the top closers do. That's what I do. I'm not afraid of it. Matter of fact, I will feel I'm cheating the prospect and the client if I don't push through their resistance, if I know I need to do that. Does that make sense? So TAR, transition, adjustment, and resistance. If you master these 3 steps, or mentality, because it's more of a mindset than anything, you're going to see your sales grow. You're going to be able to watch the increase of your cash flow every month. You're going to be able to multiply your annual revenue. Here's the great part. You're going to produce higher profit margins. And then the huge return on your investment. And it's not only a financial return on your investment, it's the value of the relationship that you've established by closing it, by converting that prospect into a customer, by converting that lead into a sale. That's the beauty of it. That's what a closer is, in my opinion, in my view, in my experience, and what I do as well. So anyway, if you like this, do me a favor, share your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I hope this has been helpful. I want to thank you for your time. And I hope you have a great week. And I hope you close more deals. But just remember, transition, adjustment, resistance, and close. Talk to you later. Bye.